Episode 1, Daily Life and Battle in Paradise, Part 2. At the time, Sho was working hard on his training. In that dimly lit room, a blonde woman in a white coat, Myron, was elegantly sipping her coffee while listening to the voice coming from the other end of the communicator. So, you're finally ready to do this, huh? Anyway, I guess the first step is clear. The voices belonged to stolid old men, and Myron had been interacting with them for some time now, but she was getting tired of hearing these gruff voices every time. It's so frustrating to be swayed by the whims of a child. Which, if you're so inclined, is just fine. I'll throw him into my army and train him from the ground up. Wait. If there was a time frame to spare, that might be a good idea, but with the current situation where only short-term training is available, that could be counterproductive. This game isn't organized combat like the military, you know. That too, Myron fam. What do you think? Asked. Myron placed her cup of coffee on the table before answering. Well, in terms of initial training, I don't think we're in a bad spot right now. Besides, his physical vulnerabilities are being compensated for by the Guardian system. Then how about the mental side? He's just a kid, right? Yes, he is. Just like Minamata, he's fun to tease. I don't have time to listen to your jokes right now, though. I can't really explain it, but I think the atmosphere is somewhat similar to Minamata's. That's why you're joking. Well, wait, Myron. Does that mean that he has similar powers to that hero who destroyed the pirates? Myron took a breath before replying to that question. He says he was just the catalyst for that, though. But you're right. It's not about the person's ability, it's about that vague, something that influences and changes the flow of the world around you just by existing. I'm sure you can feel it in him. I think it's called charisma. Nonsense. That's the stuff of the occult, isn't it? But there are certainly leaders who rely on divination, you know. Their science and technology are like magic to us. In other words, it's like the occult. It seems that there is a clear scientific basis for such things, though. Oh well. Either way, we can't do anything about it. The only thing we can do now is watch the process. It's so frustrating. I never thought I'd hear you say something like, "Let it happen." I'm sorry to hear that, but it can't be helped. I'm sorry for your loss. Myron could sense the resignation in the men's words. And strangely enough, she somehow felt that a better future would open up if that one boy held the fate of the earth in his hands rather than them standing on the front lines. Anyway, the only person from our side who is allowed to stay there is that young lady. I'll be asking for regular reports from now on. We'll do our best, uncles. Myron, that's why you can't talk to me in a way that makes fun of me. Mumble. After forcibly cutting the communication, Myron yawned and sipped her coffee again. Meanwhile, at that time, thanks to the attention of the nuclear submarine, we managed to sneak in without being noticed, the jungle of the island. In one corner of it, there was a woman hiding in plain sight. Her hair was golden under her hat. She was tall, her body wrapped in camouflage was really glamorous, and she was very beautiful. However, her sharp eyes clearly indicated that she was not a civilian. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to see that girl as soon as possible, but we'll have to move more carefully than ever from here. The woman quietly moved both of her eyes to check the area, paying attention to even the slightest noise, and began to move slowly with her trained movements. Beginning the next day, Sho was more enthusiastic than ever about housework and finding food. With minimal help from Dird and the girls, Sho did as much as he could on his own. In the end, this led to a better life for Sho, so it was not too much of a mental struggle. However, the girls seemed appalled at the sight of Sho. During dinner that night, they asked Sho about it. Hey, Sho, you've suddenly started working hard, haven't you? What's wrong with you? Sho, who was very hungry after exerting so much energy, couldn't answer right away because he was gobbling up fish and shellfish, so he chewed well and swallowed before finally answering. Pua. I can't fight as well as everyone else at all. I was told that I should have a good daily life to build up my strength. As Sho replied, Aaliyah nodded her head in agreement. You're right, Sho. You don't look much stronger than me. Are you a city boy? I don't think that's something Aaliyah would say. I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to make of this. Hey, Sho. No, that's not true. I'd rather have a physically strong young man. Hey, Sho. Sho could only laugh and mumble a few words because no matter how he answered, he felt like he would get into trouble. It was Palti who lowered her eyebrows anxiously. Sho, I think it's good to build up your physical strength, but please don't overdo it, okay? If you break your body because of it, it won't be good for you. Yes, thank you, Palti, but I want to try a little harder now. Sho's positive words made the girls look a little strange. If I work hard, I might be able to save everyone from having to fight. That's why I have to be desperate now, so that I can catch up with everyone, even if only a little. Good. I'll get more strength and start working harder tomorrow. Oh, Dird, please teach me how to catch fish again. Huh? Uh-huh. That's good, but... Hey, Sho, seriously? What's going on? I think I can kind of understand. We have to work hard to keep up with Sho, too. In the midst of living with the girls, going to school, doing housework and searching for food, Sho continued to train with the Cabots, and the customization of the Guardian was going well. And on this day as well, from evening to night, Sho was training inside the base and discussing this and that with the Cabots. I see. So, you can have the Guardian automatically perform basic attacks, defense, and evasion. Yes! If we change the combination of patterns, it will be able to last a certain number of times, but then it will always be able to read your movements at some point. That's why Shokuin needs to be able to make decisions and move on his own. That's why I don't dare to set the Guardian to automatic right now. Following M, who said that, F continued. Yes. But if we make it so complicated that it's hard for people to read our movements, then Shoone-chan's body won't be able to keep up. If he loses consciousness because of that, it's game over. But Sho-san has that sound weapon, you know. If you use it in combination with that, I think you can manage to fight Dird and the others. In the meantime, we'll proceed with the training. K and D continued to give their opinions, and M, the summarizer, nodded and announced. Right. That's all the training we can do at this point, Shokuin. The rest is up to you. It's up to you, Shokuin. How well you can act calmly will be important. Okay. The next battle would begin soon. All he could do before that was train. Lack of training was a given, but there was no time to lament about it. What Sho could do now was to get used to fighting. And the most important thing was to not lose. The fight against Dird and the others was also a form of training, learning how to handle the Guardian and gaining strength. In the meantime, he would continue to train and grow. If he did that, he would eventually be able to catch up with Dird and the others. That was the thinking of the Cabots. Well then, I'm going to train some more. Will you accompany me? Sho declared with great enthusiasm, but M and the others' expressions were grim. M-chan. Kei called out. M looked at Kei and Kei shook her head. M said, I'm sorry, but I don't know if I can do it. I guess. Let's call it a day, Shokuin. Get some rest. Yes, but not for long. Sho was in a hurry, and D interrupted. Sho, you just don't realize it, but your reaction value has dropped considerably. Yeah. Yes, Sho-san, any more and you'll be overtraining. Sho-one-chan. It's also important to rest, you know. Yes. Sho was admonished and depressed. Shokuin. I think poking fish with a harpoon is more useful for training than simulations right now, and F is right, it's also important to rest your body well before your next training session. I understand. Thank you all again for your time today. Satisfied, Sho bowed and headed for the transporter gate to return to the surface. The 4 remaining Cabots let out small sighs of relief. But it's his first time, isn't it? Sho looks just like him when he first went to the GP Academy. M says in a somewhat happy tone. But there's still too little time, isn't there? No wonder Sho-san is in a hurry. That's right, Shone-chan's talent is just below average. Instead, the waves of ups and downs are small, so it's nice to have a high degree of certainty. K and F continued to say this, and finally D blurted out. Just one thing from the data so far. When the other three animals questioned, D used a mechanical terminal to display Show's battle data on a monitor. On it were detailed information values for attack, defense, and evasion. Damage value based on number of bullets landed. Destruction damage value based on hits. M, K, and F paid attention to D's mumbling. Then what? The three of them exclaimed in astonishment at the same time. His evasion rate is terrible, but the damage taken by is far less. On the contrary, the attacks he hit are few, but the damage value to your opponent is very high. What does that mean? Wow, look at this, ladies. Shoone-chan, the weapon selection and shield switching are all based on the characteristics of the opponent. The Guardian's weapons had various characteristics such as penetration, impact, vibration, and high heat, and their shields also had corresponding compatibility values. The Cabots were once again surprised by this fact. What is it? This abnormal value is. M hurriedly started checking Show's investigation report. It looked like a resume, but it contained nothing out of the ordinary, nothing noteworthy about it. There was even a sad feeling that if he used it in his job search, it would be a waste of time. And finally, the remarks column. Perhaps there wasn't much to write about, but there was one sentence attached to it, almost apologetically. I am unusually strong at rock, paper, scissors. Oh, I see. The Cabots nodded and murmured as if they had guessed something. It was evening of that day. In the midst of the island, which was turning reddish-brown, Show and the girls were sitting around the fire in their usual spots, preparing for dinner. Show, however, stood idly for a few more minutes, holding the shellfish he had picked. She must have wondered about that. Dird called out, Show? Show? Hey, are you okay? Are you nervous? Huh? Oh, no, I'm fine, Dird. The shells fell out of Show's hands as he was startled by the voice, and he hurriedly picked them up. Show, you look a little strange. Are you okay? Well, it can't be helped. Tomorrow is Show's debut game. Show, moderate nervousness is good, but don't get too stiff. That's right, Show. It's your first fight, so I think it's best to take it easy and just get used to the fight. Yeah. As expected, Show's sentiments seemed to be known to the four of them. Perhaps in sympathy with the girls, the chicks in the incubator, P and Pio, were also crying louder than usual. I was a little scared the first time I went into battle too. What? Dared too? Yes, but I think I felt better after I realized that it's okay to get injured. After that, it even became a little fun. It was fun. Show was appalled by the smiling Dird. Well, when you know you're almost never going to die, all you have to do is give it your all. It's a bit of a bummer to think that the fate of the guild rests on our shoulders, though, because there's only so much we can do for the guild. That's true. It's not that we don't want to fight if we can help it, but that's not how it works. This is not just a problem for us, it's a problem for the guild itself. Guys, hearing the girls' opinions, Show had mixed feelings. Show already knew what Dird and the girls were carrying and how big it was. He understood why they kept fighting. But if there is an option to avoid fighting, he thought again about what he could do. It's what he vowed to do when he decided to join this fight. Yes, if Dird and the others can't stop it, I'll have to make them stop it. The girls looked at Show with awe as he made up his mind and looked at the shellfish in his hands with a serious gaze. After cooking dinner, the next day was a day of battle, and each of them had to adjust and prepare their own guardians, so the girls didn't eat together, leaving Show to return home. Well, Show, we're going home. Let's do our best tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks again, everyone. What are you talking about? Show, do your best not to drop out the first time. I'll pick up your bones, so don't worry. Haha. Please go easy on me. Dird shook hands with Aaliyah, and Aaliyah waved to Dird. Dird lingered on until the end, saying, "See you tomorrow, Pai-chan and Pio-chan," but Aaliyah pulled her along, and the two disappeared into the jungle. Show, Don't go easy against everyone. Don't forget that. Yes. No matter how much show, we'll do our best to face you. So, show, please come at us with all your might with the intention of defeating us. Apuesta. Palti, show sensed that it was the kindness of the two girls. Because the eyes of the two who were alerting him in this way were sincerely concerned for show. Thank you. I'll do the best I can. Satisfied with his words, Apuesta and Palti also disappeared into the forest, following Dird and Aaliyah. So all that was left was Show and the chicks in the incubator. And then, it's going to be so quiet without Dird and the others, isn't it? Teacher. It was Myron who came out from inside the tent. Shokuin, how about tomorrow? Do you think we'll have a good fight? Indeed, I'm not sure. But I'm going to do what I can. Huh? Shokuin, you're starting to look a little better, aren't you? What? Is that so? Yes. You've become more manly and fearless. But you're still just a kid, right? Myron grinned and fanned the liquor bottle, giving him a wry smile, but also cheering him up a bit. Sensei, can you keep an eye on P and Pio for me? That's fine, but what are you doing at this hour? You've already made dinner, right? I'm restless, so I'll just be a bit more, Sho said, squirming into his tent, taking off his jacket and putting on a pair of seawater pants underneath. Then he grabbed his snorkel and harpoon and went outside. You're so enthusiastic. But the big day is tomorrow, remember? Don't be too hard on yourself. Okay, I'm off then. Pio. The chicks were running around in the incubator, chasing Sho and making cute noises. Myron picked up the chicks and said, "There you go, Daddy." Haha, I'll do my best. Sho waved to Myron and the chicks and ran off to the beach. Shit. Oh, you're such a pain in the ass. This is why I hate reports. Inside the cruiser house, Myron was alone at her desk, tapping away at her computer keyboard. Trying to calm her frustration, she grabbed a cup that was right next to her and downed the coffee in one gulp. Phew, Myron took a breath and noticed a squeal coming from right beside her. Huh, I wonder if they're hungry. Little ones. Myron looked into the incubator that was placed nearby and smiled. That clear smile was a rare thing to see from the usual Myron. However, only P and Pio could see her face now. Oh my, it's already this late. She then mumbled to herself as she looked at the clock in the room and saw that it was getting dark outside the window. Myron grabbed the incubator and left the cruiser house to go outside. However, Sho's tent still seemed to be a husk. Daddy, you're late? Normally at this time of day, he would be enjoying dinner and feeding the chicks. Myron huffed when she noticed that Sho was nowhere to be found. No way. Myron had a bad feeling and headed for the beach like a rabbit. Luckily, she was able to find the figure quickly. Shokuin. Sho was lying on the sandy beach, unconscious with the lower half of his body submerged in the sea. Myron immediately ran to Sho, checked his pulse, then picked him up and brought him back to the cruiser house. Sho woke up 10 minutes after Myron had put him to bed in the cruiser house. Hey, here's. Slowly opening his eyes, Sho raised his upper body to look around. Then he realized that he was in Myron's cruiser. His head throbbed a little. Oh my, I see you've noticed. Oh, Myron-sensei? Myron, who was working at her desk, spun her chair around to face him. Sensei. Me, how did I end up here? Fa. He tried to ask. It was because Myron, who stood up and faced Sho, was naked under her lab coat. Sho hurriedly turned his gaze and put a towel over his head. Hey, Sensei, what are you wearing? You see, I carried Shokuin, who had collapsed on the beach, all the way here. That's when I got soaked to the bone. I didn't think I'd get soaked by Shokuin. Please don't talk to me like that. I mean, why did you have to change your clothes just because? What? Sho was shocked at Myron as he answered, Sensei? I collapsed on the beach and... Yeah, you had a mild case of hypothermia and collapsed. I don't care how warm the ocean is, those t-shirts and bathing suits don't keep you warm, so it was a close call. Thank you. You saved me, didn't you? Yes, I did. You'll thank me for this for the rest of your life. I took off your clothes, wiped you down, and laid you there. Oh, did you make me take my clothes off? Of course not. I did it for you. Myron folded her arms and slumped over. What is that look on your face, Shokuen? I see. You don't have to worry about that. After all, 70% of Japanese people are. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sho shouted, covering his own ears so as not to hear Myron's words. I'm sorry about all that. Sho calmed down and apologized, still covered by the towel, but unable to look at Myron. Don't worry about it. It's not that different from the rest of Japan, as long as you don't do anything. No, it's not that way. I mean, I'm sorry for bothering you. You should say things like that when you show your face properly. Oh, I'm talking about the upper face, not the lower. Well, in that case, Sensei, you're the one who needs to put on some clothes. What are you so embarrassed about now? When I warmed up Shokuen's body. Shokuen rubbed my body all over. I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what to do. I'm sorry. I don't remember any of this. I mean, well, that's a lie. I'm sorry, is that a lie? Shokuen, whenever my body made contact with yours, you unconsciously struggled to escape. In the end, you fell off the edge of the bed and hit your head. I'm so rude. Myron was furious, but Sho couldn't help but clench his fists. Oh, me. Good job. I mean, was this headache caused by the bump then? Oh, yes, it was. You weren't injured when you fell on the beach. Come on, Shokuen. I've already changed my clothes, so you can look at me. Oh, yes. Relieved, Sho took off the towel and turned to Myron. What came into Sho's eyes was Myron, who had taken off not only her clothes, but even her lab coat, and was posing in a distressing pose, completely naked. What the hell are you doing? Ah ha 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 ha. I'm stuck. Opposite the sullen Sho, Myron was eating with a big smile on her face. She looked really satisfied and started to eat more and more. They were sitting in front of Sho's tent, in their usual places, with a fire between them. Haha, doing something like that at all. Are you a child, Sensei? My body is an adult, though. See? Especially here, right? Myron leaned her elbows on the table to emphasize her breasts. Sho blew out a small "bew" and looked away, feeling his cheeks getting hot. He gulped down his rice in one gulp and stood up. Thank you for the food. Sensei, please put the dishes in the bucket of water over there. Wait, you're not allowed to go into the ocean today. Oh, Sho was stopped and Myron continued. That's right. I can't believe you're still trying to do this the same day you collapsed. You know, Shokuen, fighting is not something that can be managed overnight. Especially since you're an amateur, right? Myron was right, Sho thought. However, Sho's debut match was tomorrow. He couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Besides, he was already feeling much better. That's why he replied. But I'm an amateur, so I can't just do nothing and wait for tomorrow. Geez, but you're really stubborn like that. If you really want to go, you can do so after you. Push me down. Myron stood up and spread her hands to block Sho's way. Oh, I made a mistake. A mistake? Not until you defeat me. Oh, you're so Japanese. Definitely on purpose. Oh God, I'll do it. Dumbfounded, Sho took off running, leaving Myron in his tracks. He wanted to get past her and out to the beach. But almost as soon as he started, Myron blocked his path with a soft, lean, leopard-like gesture, and Sho, despite his awkwardness, quickly brushed off Myron's hand and jumped to avoid her foot strike. Wow, you're pretty good. Myron looked surprised. Sho looked surprised. I won. Sho smiled. I won. But, ouch! His leg was stuck. It was cramped. Sho fell face first to the ground and fell silent, while Myron shrugged her shoulders. A few minutes later, Sho was lying on a beach mat on the cruiser deck, getting a foot massage from Myron. Look at you. That's what happens when you push yourself too hard. Now, you're going to be quiet for the rest of the night, okay? Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. All right. Here, I'm done. How's that? It's getting easier, isn't it? Oh, yes. I have no more pain at all. Thank you very much. Ing, I'll let you owe me this time. You'll have to pay me back 300 times over someday, okay? 300 times. I borrowed something outrageous. Sho was shocked, and Myron chuckled as she draped a towel over his shoulders, placed the incubator with the chicks in it in front of him, and sat down next to him. Well, I can see why you're so restless before your debut game. Here, look at the faces of your kids and calm down. You're their dad, right? Ah, Pio, Pio. It seemed that Myron had seen through everything. Sho, still lying down, looked at the incubator that was placed right next to him. There were chicks pressing their bodies against the wall of the cage and chirping cheerfully, as if they wanted to get as close to him as possible, and he felt as if P and Pio were cheering him up. I've been in the military, so I've been on the front lines a few times. I'm not technically on the front lines because I'm in the medical field, but I've seen a lot of soldiers there. So, just by looking at the body, you can tell to some extent that this guy can't fight anymore. I see. Sho sometimes forgot that Myron was a doctor. And she has experienced war. Sho strongly regretted that he had been so stupid as to go ahead without hearing her out. From Sensei's point of view, this fight is like a game, isn't it? Because no matter how injured you get, you'll be healed the next day. Yeah, that's why it's so dangerous. Huh? Sho asked back, not understanding what Myron was saying. Myron continued, if they know they won't die, they'll be reckless, and there's a good chance that the fighters themselves and the people around them will become unstoppable. That's why Shokuin must have noticed the discomfort and wanted to stop Dird and the others. That was certainly true. I can understand your thinking, Shokuin. But, well, I can also understand the pirates' reasons for this form of settlement. Sensei. Well, there's no need to panic. Why don't you try failing as hard as you can first? What? Sho looked up at Myron next to him with a surprising expression. What's with that face? Oh no, it's because if it was Sensei, she would have said, go and even if you die. I was wondering if Sensei would say something like that. Well, yeah. If it's a one-shot game, I'd say so and let you be a little reckless. However, the only way to do this is through experience, and you can't plan a good strategy without gathering data on Dird and the other players, not to mention your characteristics. That's why you should run around in the jungle at first and get hurt a lot. Ha 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 ha. That's very Spartan. Laughing, Myron patted Sho on the head. Myron's hand, which had been a little rough, stopped at some point on Sho's head. Well, anyway, have a safe trip back. With that, Myron rolled over and Sho flipped over from his prone position to lie on his back and watch the night sky with Myron. That's a beautiful starry sky. Yes, Sho replied to Myron's words with a straightforward affirmation. Really, the night sky on this island is amazing. I was really impressed on the first night, but I think it's even more beautiful now. Yes, Dird and the others came from that place, didn't they? Yes, that's right. Dird and her friends are aliens from our point of view. If you think about it that way, it's really amazing. While answering this, Sho rubbed his eyes. A sudden drowsiness hit him. I know. Myron gazed up at the starry sky that seemed to be sucking her in. Then she blurted out. I want to go to that big, wide world. Don't you think, Shokuin? But there was no reply from Sho. When Myron looked, she saw that Sho had fallen asleep, breathing quietly in his sleep. He must have been very tired. I envy you. Myron looked at Sho with kind eyes and gently pulled the towel cover over his body. Then she looked up at the stars again. Because you're standing at the entrance to that starry sky, she said, sadly.